morning all. Not sure how this is going to work because I just found out my sound system's not working. So I'm using the mic in the camera. I don't know, like a week ago we were out and I dropped my sending unit in the creek, and apparently they're not waterproof. It is what it is. We'll make it work. What we're doing today is we're up in the high Sierras and we're getting kind of late in the season, so our time to come up here is getting short. Coming in, there's some pretty good puddles in the road. Apparently they had pretty good rain the last day or two. And there's two things I want to do. The main thing is there's areas we can't detect. There's just too much trash. And it's in the areas that they really worked hard. It just seems like there's just iron everywhere. Well, today I want to go into the drainage below those areas. I know I'm going to get massive quantities of iron. But I also know there's a good chance to find some nice gold. So that's our first project. We're going to check that out, and if it, it'll probably drive me crazy in an hour or so, unless I'm finding gold. And then the second thing I want to do, head out there. Let's do a little exploring. I'm going to gather the gear up. Let's head down the hill, see if we can find a decent drainage, and find some gold. I was just getting ready to head down the hill, and right here I noticed something, and I want to show you guys. Now hopefully you can see this. We have bedrock here. You can tell by the way it's all laid in here at a certain angle. So this is bedrock with tailings sitting on top. This is an area that I really look for when I'm in a hydraulic pit. Anytime you can get on the bedrock, because the gold can't go any lower than this. So it puts the gold within reach of your detector. That's the big thing about finding bedrock in the hydraulic pit. Okay, I'm going to hit this really quick with the detector. Then we'll head down the hill. Now we've gone down the hill a ways, and we come across a couple of things that I look for, and that's big rocks and busted up bedrock. Now the reason we look for the larger rocks, the heavier rocks, is no different than any other river. Is the larger the rocks are, the heavier the gold's going to be, general rule. And in a hydraulic pit, most of the hydraulic pits, the gold's pretty small. So you have to go into areas where there's gold large enough for your metal detector to pick it up. So I like to hang around the big rocks. Now the broken bedrock. The broken bedrock tells you that they were finding gold in the bedrock, in the cracks and crevices in the bedrock, and that's where your larger pieces have a tendency to migrate to, is down in those crevices. So the only reason they're going to break this bedrock up is there was gold down in it, stuck in the crevices. So that's another indicator that I use that we're in a good area. Now, what we're going to do is they work this area hard too. We're going to go downhill below this, and we're going to find where this is draining to. We're just basically going to follow the low points until it all collects where it drops over the edge, and that's the area I want to hunt. I'm not sure how this is going to work because we're on a really steep hill. But basically, this is where we're going to start. We got a drainage right here. We got bedrock right here. Lots of bedrock, so there's not much gravel, so we can reach all the way to the bedrock with the detector. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of trash in here because I've seen a lot of trash on top. But I did bring the big magnet to hopefully speed this up. So I'm going to give this place a once over. And since sound's going to be an issue, the targets that sound good, I'm going to try to film that. The ones I know that's garbage, I'm just going to clean it up and make a pile of garbage. All right, well, let's see if we can find some gold. Well, I've been working this area for half hour or so. Got half a dozen nails. One cool thing, well, I'll show you in a second. And one small piece of gold. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm not finding as much trash as I want to. You know, the whole point of this is to go into the really trashy area. So let me show you my treasure and a piece of gold. Okay, now this is interesting because this is part of an old wedge they were breaking up the bedrock with. And here's our first piece of gold. No skunk today. Now the reason I like finding that wedge is that's part of the equipment that they were using to break up the bedrock. And that's where we want to be, is where they were breaking the bedrock. As a matter of fact, this whole hillside is covered in broken bedrock. So we know there was nuggets here because they were digging into the bedrock for them. And now that we got one, we're sure. Now the trick is, let's see if we can find some bigger ones. Now they're just 20 feet over there. There's another gully. I'm going to finish detecting this one here. I'm going to go a little above, and then I'm going to go a little bit below the camera. It gets really steep below the camera. But I'll check those out. If we don't find anything else, we're going to jump over to the next gully. Okay, two things. That bedrock, I forgot to tell you, up by the Jeep where we first started out, no targets. Okay, now secondly, when I'm doing an area like this where I'm expecting a lot of trash, it's, you know, it doesn't really bother me because my hope is, and it's just as much as finding gold, is finding artifacts. You know, you can find some really cool stuff from, you know, the 1850s if you dig every target. So that kind of keeps me from getting discouraged while I'm digging all the iron. Okay, back to work. Well, I'm now been working in the sun, so I had to lose the sweatshirt. Actually, the weather up here is beautiful. Now, two things. I just found a really cool, I think it's cool, artifact. What this is like a hasp, a clip. I think it was on their overalls or something like that. But this was something that the old miners were wearing, and probably, you know, a pair of overalls, and it broke. And you think about it, you're out in the middle of nowhere. That had to piss them off. And it's just stuff like that that just makes this more fun. Just the part of their life you get to experience. Then the other target is right here, and it sounds good. So we are now over in the other gully I was going to go into. So I'm going to grab the detector. Hopefully you're going to be able to hear the target. I'm going to try it, and then we're going to dig it up. Well, I got no idea if you heard that. I guess I'll find out when I edit this video. Okay, let's dig her up, see if we got a piece of gold. Okay, we have moved it. We got a piece of gold. Let me show you. Hopefully you can see here. It's not huge, but it is another piece of gold. Well, we're finding gold, not much, but we're not finding very much trash at all. So I'm gonna, now that I found a piece of gold here, I'm gonna check this area, but I'm gonna keep moving around because I want to get into the trash, because I think that's where our best gold's gonna be. Well, it's been several hours, and I made a big loop, and I've come to the conclusion that I am detecting an area where the world's cleanest miners lived, because this area has been worked to death, but I'm here to tell you targets are few and far in between, because it's been 2 hours and I don't think I've found a dozen targets. But right here I have a target that sounds good to me. So I headed back, grabbed the camera. I got to get everything up here anyway. So first, let me show you, I did find one cool thing, or at least to me it's kind of cool. And then we'll dig up this target. Okay, here we have a collection of the treasures so far. We got nails. This is our first little hasp we found. And then this one definitely looks like it belongs on a pair of overalls. That's the second one we found. There's our little feather wedge found at the beginning. This is a chunk of lead, and this was a big bullet at one time. And we have here a 270 cartridge. And that is it in like 3 to 4 hours of detecting. Okay, let's see if we can find our target. Well, looks like we moved it. Got it in the scoop. Oh, I see gold. Not very big, but it's gold. Oh, you can see there, not a very big piece, but it's gold. Our third piece. Seems like my plan for working the trash piles is not working out so well. What I'm going to do right now, since it's way past lunchtime, I'm going to head back up to the Jeep, because we've worked our way back up the hill to where it's not that far now. I'll go back to the Jeep, grab some lunch, and then we're going to reevaluate what we're going to do. I'm going to leave everything here because I just did find that piece, so I want to search this area. So I'll be back in a few. Well, back from lunch, and I've been detecting for, I don't know, half hour or so. And I've got a gully here that they really worked, and there's actually some trash here. I found quite a few nails so far, but I got a target here that sounds good, and I'm having a heck of a time getting it nailed down. So hopefully it's a piece of gold. Either that or it's a small flat piece of iron. But let's see if we can find it. Boy, this thing does not want to be found. Still there. Starting to sound a lot better. Got it. Oh, I see gold. Right there you can see, not real big, but it's a lot chunkier than the other ones. Well, that's number 4. We don't have much weight though, they're all pretty small. Okay, well I'm going to get back to detecting, see if we can get some more. I found a spot with the trash. the part of the mold shovel. This almost looks like it's part of an old pan because it's fairly thin. It had a rolled edge on it, and it's the correct radius. I think this might be what's left of an old pan. Then the nails are getting way bigger. And right here, I dug 2 nails out and I had a third target. It was pretty loud, so I figured it was another piece of a nail. It was a nugget. Our nicest one yet. Let me show you. Well, it's not a monster, but for today, that's a nice piece. I'm guessing that's getting close to a gram. Okay, well, I'm going to get back to digging because it's getting late. The problem with this time of year, it gets dark early. So we don't have a whole lot of time left. So see if we can find another piece. Well, it's not magnetic. That part's good. That's it. It's gold. Tiny little piece. I'm beginning to think little pieces is all we're going to get today. Well, I just got another target right here, and we just got that one right there, so I thought, camera's here, let's film it. Oh, that's it. Nail. Well, I think we got to get out of here. There's a big black cloud over the top, and it's starting to rain. It's late. I have found either 3 or 4 more pieces. Found some artifacts. Old shovel too, all riveted together. But I got a pocket full of nails, and we still got a pretty good hike to get back to the Jeep. So I think I'm going to pack everything up. I want to get this camera out of the rain before it gets ruined. So I'll see you guys back at the house. Back at the house, and yep, it's the next day. Well, the gold's all sitting over there on by the scale, so what do you say we jump over there and see how we did? Okay, let's weigh our chunkiest piece first, and that comes to 0.68. And the total for the day is 3.05 grams. Well, 3 grams? I'm staying ahead of that 2 gram rut, so I am more than okay with that. Now, I keep saying fall's here, but I don't know about this, this summer doesn't want to end, but it's going to end, and I think it's going to end quickly, so I think we're going to head back up there while we got the opportunity, because while I was looking around, I came across an area that looks like it might be a good area to do a little scratching for bottles. So I'm thinking, might head up there, do a little treasure hunting, and if we fail there, then we can always go gold hunting. Either way, we're in the high Sierras, and we're having fun. So I'm thinking that might be my plan for this coming weekend. Okay, well, that's pretty much all I got on this one. So I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.